Yes, Magic Fan. Let's see, how's this thing working? I am trying to do some streaming from my phone to open up some Strixhaven cards. Can I lock the exposure on this thing? And I usually, obviously, stream via my computer, but I want to do a streaming on my phone. So, welcome everyone live, or if you're here on the replay, hopefully we'll get some cool cards. There's a brand new bundle of Strixhaven School of Mages cards. This includes 10 booster packs plus some goodies. So hopefully we get some good stuff. Professor Onyx, that's the card I definitely want. I have a very cool Brawl deck with that card, but I'd also like to make a real-life Commander deck. Declare your college. So, which one are you all? I kind of like the aesthetic of Silver Quill, but you can tell me which one you are more into. What is this little thing right here? So, hey there, Mark, how are you doing? Can you hear me okay? I'm trying a brand new way to stream. I'm streaming on my phone instead of the computer, so it'll be a little bit different, but let me know if everything's good so far. So, I'm opening up some booster packs of real-life Strixhaven cards in this bundle I just started, so you haven't missed anything. And oh, look at that, we get this cool, the new color pair little poster. This is cool. So, debate duelists are Silver Quill, Prismari is the Art Club, Witherbloom is the Swamp Punks, Lorehold are the Rock Jocks, and Quandrix are the Math Whizzies. So that was the box, and it came with the posters. It also had this college, the theory of every college, and then a map, actually, of all of all of Strixhaven campus. So that came in the bundle. It also then has a box with the various designs there. Comes with a big old die. It's as big as my hand there. Yeah, can I find the? There it is. There's the Strixhaven logo, and it's a pretty cool. So I just have to smell it. And so it's a pretty cool, huge die, D20. We also have the bundle exclusive Archmage Emeritus in foil. Let's see if we can catch the light just right. Pretty cool foil. This human wizard magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, draw a card. Amazing. 4 mana to have a creature that you draw cards every time you play spells. Plus it also has, I believe, lands. And then we have over here the other land pack. I believe these lands over here are foil. I'll probably open them in a moment. And these are the regular lands. Actually, yeah, these are the regular lands. The Strixhaven lands not found in regular packs, only in this bundle. See, they start at number 366 beyond the set, which ends at 365. And what else? Just these other little things here. And then the boosters. So, how's everyone doing today so far? Having a good Thursday or good end of the week or so? How's everyone doing? I just decided to kind of jump on board. Didn't even clean my mat over here full of cat fur. But just wanted to open up some booster packs. I was a little bored. Yeah, I don't know if I can lock. Can I lock the exposure on this? I'm using my phone's camera instead of my regular computer, but I don't know. Can I lock the exposure? I guess that locked the exposure. Okay, good. I swear I'm professional. So we got a couple of lore holes. There's some Prismari, Silver Quills over here. Not a bad Friday so far. Very good. A nice sedate day. That's always good to hear. Going into the weekend soon. We'll do our regular stream, of course, on Saturday. But okay, so we've got these right here. Let's start opening. I'll start with Silver Quill. I thought the exposure got locked, but I guess not. Also, where are these printed at? These are made in USA. So I've seen made in USA, made in Japan, and also made in Belgium. What's the first booster here? Elemental Masterpiece, 7 mana, create 2 4/4 elementals, or cycle it for 2, sort of, and it creates a treasure. This is the set that's full of common gold cards. Usually it's kind of rare to have, well, not rare, but they're usually under, also these smell a little different than the other ones. But usually the gold cards are uncommon in most sets, but not in Strixhaven. Excavated Wall, 1 mana, 1/4 defender, tap it, mill a card. Rise of Exta, so this is some of this Wiley Beckert art that I'm really enjoying in recent Magic sets. 6 mana. Exile target creature up to 1, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery from a graveyard, and then you learn. Exhilarating Elocution, 4 mana. It's kind of cool to see these in real life, even though obviously I've played with these on Arena many times. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature you control. Other creatures you control get +1 until end of turn. So it'd be nice as an instant, but still it'll be great for a good alpha strike to finish the game. Professor's Warning, 1 black instant. Choose one. Put 1 +1 counter on one of your on a creature, or a creature gains indestructible. Pillar Drop Rescuer, 5 mana. Spirit Cleric, 2/2 flying. When it enters, return target creature card with CMC of 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Curate, 2 mana, instant. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest back on top of your library. Draw a card. Isn't that basically Surveil? Surveil 2, then draw a card. Dragon's Approach, this is fun. You can have a deck, can have any number of cards named Dragon's Approach in it. So they did that with a few, they've done that with a few cards throughout the history of Magic, and they did that with Persistent Petitioners and such relatively recently. And then there's the Seven Dwarves card that you can have 7 of them in a deck. But there's another example of a card that you can have lots of them of in one deck, and what you do is you basically deal 3 damage based on the number of cards that you have of these, and then go get a dragon card. It's fun. Mage Duel, 3 mana. This costs 2 less. If you've cast another instant or sorcery this turn, target creature gets +1/+2, then it fights. Expanded Anatomy, 3 mana, sorcery lesson. Put 2 +1 counters on target creature, gains vigilance. Then we have the uncommons. Quandrix Cultivator, Turtle Druid, 3/4. When this enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic forest or island, put it into your battlefield, and shuffle. So you pay 4 mana, you get a creature, and you go get to cultivate, basically. Start from scratch, 3 mana. Sorcery, it's a lesson, choose one. This deals 1 damage to any target or destroy an artifact. It's a shatter plus a shock. No, not a shock, that deals 2 damage, but another such red spell. Mentor's Guidance, 3 mana. Sorcery, when you cast a spell, copy it if you control a Planeswalker, a Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard, which is then scry 1 and draw a card. That's fun. And the rare is Elemental Expressionist, 4 mana. Orc Wizard, 4/4, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy, choose target creature you control. Until end of turn, it gains, if this creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. And when you exile this creature, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental. Oh, that's just kind of a long essay to say that until end of turn, if a creature would be bounced back to your hand, it would go to the graveyard or exiled. It gets exiled, and you make a 4/4. It's a lot of text to kind of get this particular effect, but it's pretty interesting. The next card is the Mystical Archive, Adventurous Impulse, amazing art. What do we think about the Mystical Archive that is so different than the usual Magic cards we've been used to for years? Obviously, when I first played Magic, we had the vintage border, and then there was the 8th edition border, and then there was this one. When did this come out? Magic Origins? When did the new border come out? And now we're getting all of these very different looking supplemental cards nowadays. So what do we all think about having this very different border nowadays? I think it looks amazing. I know that sometimes people think that doesn't look like a Magic card, but I think the art looks great. So look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land, put into your hand, and the rest at the bottom. And lastly, we got the Welcome to Arena card. So that's one pack. Let's go to the next one. Some Origins in 2014, 2015 or so. So we've only had the new border for just about 6 years. I don't know why I felt like it was even longer. This is kind of interesting when I open this, and it's like it's a ripped Magic card. Uncover the best, worst kept secret in Magic. Secretlayer.wizards.com. This would be kind of cool to have in an actual deck. It's just going to be the token, but it'd be kind of interesting to, you're shuffling your cards with no sleeves, of course, and then you get to this one right here, and whoa, it's ripped. The color looks different, however. That blue looks better there. All right, so we've got the Aguiar Battle Seer, 5 mana, 3/4. It's got haste, so instead of attacking with 3/4, you can scry, I guess. Cogwork Archivist, it's a 6 mana, it's a 4/5, it's got reach. Pay 2, tap it, return, or put a card from a graveyard at the bottom of their library. So take it out of their graveyard. Silverquell Pledge Mage, 3 mana, 3/1, Magecraft. You can make it fly or lifelink. Enthusiastic Study, 3 mana. The art on that's pretty fun. She's holding a huge book. Instant, target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample, and then you learn. Reckless Implemancer, 2 mana, 2/2, pay 5, and then you double the power and toughness. So it'll definitely become a 4/4. But if it's got equipment or enchantments, it can get even bigger. Mage Hunter's Onslaught, 4 mana, sorcery, destroy a creature or planeswalker, and whenever a creature blocks this turn, its controller loses 1 life. So kill one of their creatures, and when they block, they get damaged. Study Break, 2 mana, instant, tap up to 2 target creatures, then learn. Curate, we got that one already. Pest Summoning. The symbol right here on a lesson card, I still see it as sort of like a negative space sort of thing. It's supposed to be a pen and a scroll, but I keep seeing it like a pitchfork shape, like literally the magazine Pitchfork, their logo. When I kind of see it for the first time, I'm like, yeah, pitchfork, but it's a quill pen on a parchment. What about you all? What do you see when you see that? Like for the first time quickly, or when you look at it carefully. So 3 mana. All right, getting a notification there on the Discord. I think I can do that. Okay, so this creates 2 pests, and when they die, you gain life. Brackish Trudge, 3 mana, Fungus Beast. This enters the battlefield tapped. Pay 2. Return this from your graveyard to your hand. Activate it only if you gained a life this turn. So it's a 4/2 that can keep coming back over and over. Witherbloom Apprentice. It's a 2/2 Magecraft. You drain them for 1, so that's cool. Igneous Inspiration, 3 mana, sorcery, deals 3 damage to any target, then learn. Gnarled Professor, 4 mana, 5/4, trample. When it enters, you learn. That's the rare. And we have a beautiful Mystical Archive Opt. So single blue, scry, then draw with this newfangled, really fancy art. This is by Christina Coyantes. And we got a foil Containment Breach. Let's get some good light on that. So the Witherbloom logo looks nice. And the cat is on the floor and he wants to jump up on the desk to see what's going on here, but hopefully he doesn't. Anyway, so this is a sorcery, learn, destroy target artifact or enchantment. If its mana value is 2 or less, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. When this dies, you gain 1 life. So it makes pests. It also destroys artifacts and such. It's a sorcery, however. And if we go over here for a moment, we will see that the cat is doing shenanigans. No, kitty, please be good. Don't jump on the laptop. Literally, literally don't. No, 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 no. So, yep, I'm going to have to probably take it aside for a moment. But anyway, let's look at some more of these. So that was the foil. And then the token here is the treasure token. And then, like I said, the back of it is the secret layer one. Next, we'll go with the Quandrix booster. I've been noticing these are new here in the U.S. The recyclability logo. And the cat dropped something. All right, we got the Mean Squad, Spiteful Squad, 4 mana. It's a 0/0, but it comes in as a 2/2 with Death Touch, and when it dies, move the counters around. Silver Quill Campus, it's the dual land, and then later you can use it to scry. Here's the cat right here. No, kitty, please. Go do something else. Don't grab my knife over here. Look at Okay, yeah, the dual land. Owlin Shield Mage, 5 mana, 3/3, flying. It's got ward, so there's an extra cost to targeting this. The opponent has to pay 3 life. First day of class. 2 mana instant. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on it, and it gains haste. Then you learn. Yeah, the cat is literally on my laptop over here. Like, what is this? This is not good. No, get out of there. Yeah, I have to hold on one moment. Since I'm on my phone, I don't have the same capability as my other streaming, so BRB one moment. I've got to get him off the laptop. No, the laptop is not for you to lay down at, please. All right, I think we averted tragedy there, so continuing. Professor of Zoomancy, 4 mana, 4/3. It's a bear druid. And when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 pest. Unwilling ingredient, 1 black. It's a 1/1. It's got menace. And then exile it from your graveyard to draw a card. Tasty. Gilding or guiding voice, 1 white sorcery. Put a +1 counter on a creature and learn. Technically, you can put it on your opponent's creature for some big brain tech. Waterfall Aerialist, 4 mana. Very cool art with that water. It's a 3/1, it's a flying, it's got ward of 2, so the opponent has to pay 2 more. They try to murder, but they didn't read it, and whoops, they have to pay 2 more, and it gets an auto-countered. Tome Shredder. This is the hilarious, the dog ate my homework. Well, this is the new creature of the lore of Strixhaven. This one's called Mila. Creature, wolf, it's a 2/2 haste, or you can tap it, exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, put a +1. So you can summon it for 3 mana as a 2/2, tap it right away, becomes a 3/3, gets bigger and bigger. Introduction to Annihilation, 5 mana, exile anything except the land, and the controller draws a card. Yes, that's a big downside. Swords to Plowshares would exile any sort of creature, they gained life, who cares? But here, 5 mana now can be put in any deck, a mono green deck. Instead of having to deal with a fight mechanic, a green deck can now exile anything. But they do draw a card, and I think that's a good trade-off. Eventually, I'm sure this is going to be an instant one day. Gutha, Mercurial Artist, 3 mana, 1/4, Orc Shaman, Legendary, 2, and return her to your hand. Copy the next instant or sorcery. Spell Satchel, 2 mana artifact, Magecraft. Put a counter on it, tap it, and remove a counter. Add colorless mana, or 3 and tap, remove 3 counters, draw a card. So if you've got a heavy Magecraft going on, this could be a good engine. Eye Twitch. It's an eye bat. Okay, I remember that there's only like 3 cards in the world of Magic that have a creature type of eye. There's like Evil Eye of Orms by Gore, something like that. One of those old cards. Maybe like one more. This might be the 4th eye creature ever in the world of Magic. It's a 1 mana, 1/1 with flying, and when it dies, you learn. The rare is a Blade Historian, 4 mana, 2/3. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. So this can do 4 damage if it doesn't get blocked, and your other big creatures can get even bigger. That's the rare. The Mystical Archive. Ooh, yes! Teferi's Protection, one of the most valuable cards that people love in various formats, notably Commander. Yeah, this is an expensive card. Well, it was like $60 before the reprint, and I think it's still pretty up there now. But yeah, 3 mana, instant until your next turn. Your life total cannot change, and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. So someone's about to board wipe, or Cyclonic Rift, or do something, or kill you, or something. You instantly play this, and Teferi whisks you away. And you're totally safe until your next turn. This is a mythic rare and is really cool. This is number 11 out of 63 of the Mystical Archive. Very cool. Very happy about that pull. Very cool art by Mintu Hyanian. Very nice. And then an elemental. Actually, where are my sleeves? Let me put that in a sleeve right now. I have to move my sleeves because the cat was eating them. Here they are. So let me sleeve that one up. It's not a foil or anything, but it is a Teferi's Protection. So I gotta protect the protection. Nice. Next up, booster number 3. Starting with a thrilling discovery, 2 mana sorcery, you gain 2 life. Then you may discard 2 cards. If you do, draw 3 cards. That's pretty fun. Lots of big brain tactics. Needle Thorn Drake, 2 mana. It's a flyer. It's a 1/1. It's a death touch. It's a good. Archway Commons. This is the Ruptured Spire and such that gives you a mana of any color, but it comes in tapped, and you then have to pay 1 to keep it. Soothsayer Adept, 2 mana, 1/3, 1 and a blue, tap it, draw a card, then discard. Illustrious Historian, 2 mana, 2/1, 5, and exile. From your graveyard, create a 3/2 tapped spirit. Field Trip, 3 mana. Search your library for a basic forest, put it into the battlefield tapped, and shuffle and learn. So yeah, go get a land, go get a forest, and then you learn. Hunt for specimens, 2 mana, create a pest, and then learn. Star Pupil, it's a 0/0 that comes in as a 1/1, and then its counter moves elsewhere when it dies. What is the cat up to now? I guess that's okay. Actually, what? Yeah, that's okay. Serpentine Curve, 4 mana, create a fractal. Based on the total number of instant and sorcery cards in exile or graveyard. So I guess it could come in at minimum as a 1/1 after this spell, but it'll probably be bigger as you have more stuff in the graveyard. Inkling Summoning, 3 mana, lesson, create 1/2/1 flying Inkling token. Then we've got the uncommons, Closing Statement, 5 mana, instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast during your end step. Destroy target creature. or planeswalker you don't control. Put a +1 on up to one target creature you control. And the flavor text in conclusion. So if you do it at the end of your end step, in your end step, holding priority, you can get a reduction of 2, to make it 3 mana in total. Practical research. 5 mana, draw 4 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard 1 instant or sorcery. Detention Vortex, a white enchantment, non-land permanent, cannot attack or block, activated abilities cannot be activated. 3, destroy this. Only your opponents may activate this ability, and only as a sorcery. So, kind of interesting. So it's one of these taxing effects. So only 1 mana, but then they have to tax it. They get taxed. It's interesting. And the rare is a Manifestation Sage, 4 mana, 2/2. When this enters, create a fractal. Where X is the number of cards in your hand. So, okay, it could be big depending on how many cards you have in hand. And then we got here a Duress, 1 black mana. Opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card, and then they discard it. So goodbye, Planeswalker. And then another Elemental. Next, we're at the Prismari booster. Got another one of the campuses. Quandrix Campus comes in tapped. Pay, you get the blue or green, and you scry later. Spectacle Mage, amazing art on that. 3 mana, 2/2. It's flying. Instants and sorceries you cast with mana value 5 or greater cost 1 less. So your 5 mana card now only costs 4. Square Up, interesting art on that. 2 mana, instant. Target creature has base power and toughness of 4 until end of turn. So that's 2 squared, which is 4. Crushing Disappointment, 4 mana, instant. Each player loses 2 life. You draw 2 cards. I've got that in my Liliana, my Professor Onyx Brawl deck. I like it. Ageless Guardian, 2 mana, 1/4 with a bunch of flavor text for armor. Resculpt, 2 mana, instant. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental. This is one of these, if you must, get rid of your opponent's threat like a Great Henge or something, but you give them a creature. Heated Debate, 3 mana instant. This spell cannot be countered. This includes by the Ward ability. Okay. Heated Debate deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Get him out of here. Big Play, 2 mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach until end of turn, and then put a +1. There's so many cards with so many rules nowadays. Environmental Science, one of the colorless cards, 2 mana. Search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, you gain 2 life. So this is mana fixing for any color with 2 mana. Deadly Brew, 2 mana. Sorcery, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. If you sacrifice the permanent this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So, yeah, a lot of shuffling around shenanigans. Go Blank, more of this Wiley Beckert art. I can recognize it right away. It reminds me a little bit of the Andy Russi, or what was the name? Andy Rusu, and Andy Rusu back in the 90s style of art, like Lost Order of Yarkeld from Ice Age. That's the one that really stands out in my mind. Anyway, 3 mana sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards, then exile all their graveyard. That's fun. I use that in my Professor Onyx deck. Mascot Interception, 4 mana sorcery. This costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature token. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains +2 and haste. So if you steal their huge fractal, it can cost only 1, plus you give it a +2. Fun. Then we've got the rare Baleful Mastery, 4 mana. You may pay 2. Never pay the reduced cost. Here's your pro tip, everyone. Never pay the reduced cost. It's always a bad idea. Always pay the full cost, or get a better card. Exile target creature or planeswalker at instant. So 4 mana exile. That's not so bad. There's plenty of cards in the history of Magic. For 4 mana, you can exile a creature or planeswalker, but this tempts you with the 2 mana. Never pay the reduced cost. Then we have a Cultivate, Mystical Archive, very cool art. I love the framing device of the flowers back here. 3 mana, search your library for up to 2 cards, put one into the battlefield, tapped, and put the other into your hand. We have a foil mage duel. I believe I got a mage duel a moment ago, but here's the foil one. Basically, 2 creatures fight, but yours is better. And then we've got a worthless card. All right, so we're on the final 5 boosters. Let's do this one. See anything you like so far? What does everyone think of what I've opened up so far? Anything for cool decks that you'd like to play? Witherbloom Pledge Mage, 5 mana. It's got Magecraft where you cast or copy, gain a life. It's a 5/5 and then you gain life. Letter of Acceptance, the new mana rock, 3 mana. Tap it for any color and then later pay 2, sacrifice it, draw a card. I wonder why it has the extra stipulation of tap. Is there much of a difference? Do you think Wizards of the Coast thought things would be broken if they simply had it as 2 sacrifice, draw a card? Why do you think it also needs a 2 and a tap and a sack? Any thoughts why they have that extra thing? Does it do much of a difference? Prismari Pledge Mage. Ooh, I've played once or twice against someone that puts this on turn 2 and then they win the game with it because it can then attack. And they were pumping it up with a bunch of things. Waterfall Ariest, already got that one. Tome Shredder, already got that one today. Bayou Groff, 2 mana, 5/4 as an additional casting cost, sacrifice a creature or pay 3. So you can pay 5 in total or sacrifice 1 creature for 2 mana. And I got another Professor's Warning. Combat Professor, cool art on that. 4 mana, 2/4. It's a flying bird cleric at the beginning of your combat. A creature of yours gets a +1 and vigilance, so it can do it to itself or your other creature. Arcane Subtraction, 2 mana. Target creature gets -4, -0, and you learn. There's another one of these colorless cards that can go great in any deck that normally wouldn't have this. 3 mana to scry 2, and then draw 1 card. Love it. Creative Outburst. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Create, this deals 5 damage to any target. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest at the bottom. And or pay 2 to discard it to create a treasure. I think I might have already had that one. Snow Day. 6 mana. Tap 2 creatures. They don't untap. Then draw 2 cards and discard 1. Emergent Sequence. 2 mana, search your library for a basic land, put it into the battlefield, tapped. That land becomes a 0/0, where counters are for each land that entered. So the trick is you've got to play a land, then play this. So a second land hits the battlefield, and then you get a 2/2. If there's any other way, like if you first cultivate or whatever, and then do this, you can get an even bigger creature. But it's ramp. We have the rare, Valentine, Dean of the Vein. This is a flip card. We have Valentine over here, and then we have Lisette over here. So I actually have this as my commander deck that I played with the play group. It's a 1 mana, 1/1 with Menace and Lifelink, and then when a non-token creature an opponent dies, it gets exiled instead, so it's a Leyline of the Void on a creature. Then if you pay 2 when it dies, you can create a pest. Or you can summon Lisette, 4 mana, 4/4. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1, and if you do, put a +1 on all of your creatures. So both of those sides are pretty fun. And then the Mystical Archive. Oh, look, it's the famous Faithless Looting. I've already seen it a lot of times on Arena. People are loving this card, of course. It's a good card. 1 red, draw 2 cards, then discard 2, and flashback it for 3. People are doing amazing stuff with the discard ability on Arena that I've seen so far. And then a Fractal. Lower hold is up. So this is the first time I stream with my, hey Stevie, how are you doing? I was just saying, this is the first time that I stream with my phone, not with my regular setup stream here, so like it never wants to lock in on the focus, and it doesn't look like there's a way to lock it in here. But I just wanted to do an impromptu opening up some boosters. We'll have our usual stream on Saturday, of course, but I just wanted to do this. So we have the Aegir Battle Seer. It's a 3/4. It's got Scry and Haste. We have the Dual Land in green and blue. We have the Teach by Example. 2 mana. When you cast your next instant or sorcery, copy it. You may choose new targets. So yeah, copy the next spell you're going to play. So this is the one that you can have as many of these as you want in your deck, and then it deals damage for each one, and you exile them, and you summon a dragon. Mage Duel, make your creatures fight, but yours gets a +1/+2. Essence Infusion, 2 mana sorcery, put 2 +1s on a creature, it gains lifelink until end of turn. It's a sorcery. It would have been nicer if it was an instant, so you can giant growth it sort of thing. Pillar Drop Rescuer, 5 mana, 2/2, and then bring a smaller creature from your graveyard back to your hand. Bury in Books. This one's fun. 5 mana. Put target creature into its owner's library second from the top. It costs 2 less if they are attacking you. Obviously for limited, and then the flavor text. There are no weapons allowed in the Biblioplex, but a clever mage is never truly defenseless. Blood Age General, 2 mana, 2/2, attacking spirits, get +1 until end of turn. So if you've got a spirit-focused deck, you can make them all big when they attack. Bigger. Spirit Summoning, speaking of spirits, it's a 3 mana, create a 3/2 spirit. Symmetry Sage, people are loving this card. I've seen a lot of people play this on Arena. Single blue mana, you get a 0/2, it's got flying. But when you Magecraft, when you play an instant or sorcery, it becomes a 2/2 flyer. And then people do fun stuff with it. Golden Ratio, 3 mana. Draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. This is one of the ones that we had on the stream, remember? And we were trying to realize how many cards does it actually give you? Arena will do the work for you, but playing this card in real life, you better know how this works. Then a Professor of Symbology. I like the art on that. I like how she's like very tall and kind of lanky. 2 mana, 2/1. She's a core cleric. When she enters, learn. Then the rare is a Conspiracy Theorist. 2 mana, Human Shaman, 2/2. This one's kind of complicated. Whenever this attacks, you may pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Okay, so you attack, you pay 1, you discard a card, you draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile one of them from your graveyard. If you do, you may cast it this turn. Okay, so you attacked, you paid 1, you discarded, you draw, and you also trigger this, where instead of letting it go to the graveyard, you let it go to exile, and then you have until the end of the turn to cast it. So that's a pretty big brain tech. Then we have a Crozen Grip, so 3 mana, destroy an artifact or enchantment, but wait, split second. As long as this spell is on the stack, players cannot cast spells or activate abilities that are not mana abilities. So it basically prevents your opponents from responding. You're about to destroy their Great Henge, and there's no way for them to protect it or whatever because of split second. So it's like the super, what is it? It's like vaguely like interrupts, kind of, but not really. It stops the opponent from responding. Very powerful effect. And then a treasure. 3 more left. And then I'll review the good cards. All right, I already got one of these. 6 mana to exile a creature and then learn. Already got this one. 3 mana for a mana rock, make any color. Already got a Spiteful Squad. It's a 2/2 Death Touch. Already got a Teach by Example. Copies your spell. Already got an Unwilling Ingredient. It's a 1/1 Menace, or exile it, draw a card. Already got a Guiding Voice. 1 white. Put a +1 on a creature and then learn. Already got this one, Arcane Subtraction, 2 mana. Give something -4/-0 and learn. Blood Age General, already got this one, 2 mana, 2/2. Spirits get +1. I think every single one in this booster I've already got so far. Let's see if I can keep it going. Hopefully not the rare or the Mystical Archive, but so far everything I've opened so far has already been something I've already gotten today. So Professor of Zoomancy, it's a bear. Fractal Summoning, no, I haven't gotten this one yet. 2 mana plus X, create an XX fractal. So if you've got 10 mana, you can make a 10/10. And we have the Silver Quill Apprentice. I did not have this one yet. 2 mana, 2/2, Human Warlock, Magecraft. Target creature gets +1. So every time you cast an instant or sorcery, you can give itself or something else a +1. Dueling Coach, don't have this one yet. 4 mana, 2/2, Human Monk. When this enters, put a +1 on any creature, and then pay 5 mana and tap, put a +1 on a creature that already has a +1 on it. So that's cool with Proliferate. Storm Kill Artist, don't have this one yet. 4 mana, 2/2, Dwarf Shaman. Gets a +1 for each artifact. Magecraft, create an artifact. So it gets even bigger every time you simply Magecraft. The rare, oops, that's probably an email from work. Yeah, someone needs help, but get to that in a bit. Yep, okay, then the rare is, Shadrax. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Anyone know that song from the Beastie Boys? Shadrax, Silver Quill. 5 mana, 2/5, Mythic, Elder Dragon. This is like the number 3 or 4 most desired card of Strixhaven. Very nice. It's got flying. It's got double strike. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, you may choose to. Each mode must target a different player. Either target player creates a 2/1 flying token, or target player draws a card and loses a life, or target player puts a +1 on each creature. So you probably want to do the part that draws you a card and maybe give them a flyer. Or if they have no creatures, you can give them the third ability to put counters on none of their creatures. Take that. All right, that's the Mythic rare. And over here, got to Revitalize. 2 mana. Pretty cool art on this. She's all stabbed up, but it's like, no problem. I am revitalized. You gain 3 life. Draw a card. Knight Catherine closed her eyes, bracing herself for the end. But she opened them again. She stood triumphant over her foe. And that was Thetis the Healer, Memoirs. Treasure. Witherbloom. Cram Session. 2 mana. This guy looks really creepy. This person looks really creepy. 2 mana sorcery. You gain 4 life. And you learn. We've got one of the campuses. This is the black and the green. Blood Researcher. Cool art. 3 mana. 2/2. Menace. And when you gain life, put a +1 on this. I love the art on this one. Reject. 2 mana. Instant. Counter a creature or planeswalker spell unless they pay 3. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead. So that's cool. You get a 2 mana exile if they can't pay for it. You get a 2 mana counter spell, and if they can't pay for it, they get exiled. Twin Scroll Shaman, 3 mana, 1/2 with double strike. Equip it for better damage. Scurid Colony, it's a squirrel. It's a 2 mana 2/2. It's got reach, so it can jump up and hit those birds. And it gets a +2 if you've got 8 or more lands on the battlefield. 4/4 reach for 2 mana. Lash of Malice, 1 black mana. A creature gets +2/-2 until end of turn, instant. Eager First Year, 2 mana 2/2, Magecraft. Gets a +1 until end of turn. Elemental Summoning, 5 mana, create a 4/4 elemental. Test of Talent. So I just saw this one on Twitter. Saffron Olive from MTG Goldfish was trying to do an amazing play, but then the opponent cast this spell. Basically, counter target instant or sorcery. Then search their graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as this. Exile them all. So you try to do your amazing instant or sorcery, and then the opponent counters it. And not only do they counter it instantly, but they get to remove every copy of it from your graveyard and your hand. Brutal. And it's an uncommon. Fortified Draft. 1 green instant, you gain 2 life. No, Fortifying Draft. Yeah, there it is, Fortifying Draft. It's a beer, right? You gain 2 life. A butterbeer, just like on Harry Potter. You gain 2 life. Target creature gets plus X, where X is the amount of life. So your creature gets at least 2/2. If you gain more life, it can get bigger. Secret Rendezvous, 3 mana, sorcery. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. So if you've got a friend in a commander game, you can give each other some cards, and then later on, as the game winds down, then that's when you stab them in the back. The rare is, oh, look at that, it's Paolo Vitor Damo de Rosa, the world champion. He just won the last Magic championship, and one of his prizes, not only did he win hundreds of thousands of dollars, he got immortalized in a Magic card. So PV right here, can we focus? So PV is now on a Magic card for all time. So what is this? What does his card do? 3 mana, flying, 3/1, human cleric. When this enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell this way costs 2. So a lot of words to basically say, look at the opponent's hand, exile a non-land. It stays permanently exiled forever, even if you lose this creature. But then now, if the opponent wants to play that card in the future, now it's got an extra 2 mana tax. I think it would have been amazing if this was an instant, or that is a flash creature, but it's got a pretty cool effect. And it's got a pro Magic player's photo on it, so very cool. Then we've got another Duress, already had one of those today. And a foil, ooh, Rise of X, this looks cool. In foil, ooh, I love the purple evil magic, nice. As I said, I'm really liking this artist, Wiley Beckert. And there. So here's the last booster of all. What do you think so far of my polls? I'll review in a moment. But what good vibes will you give me so that hopefully I get an amazing card? The one I want is Professor Onyx, the new Planeswalker. I want that card so I can make a cool deck. I've got a version on Arena, but I want a real copy of that. Let's see if I get it. Wish me luck. Okay, so first of all, because I see a magic back, that means it is not a token, because a token has this and that on the back. So this is going to be a real card, not a token. So this might be a special pack. So Elemental Masterpiece, I already had this one. Silver Quill Campus, it's the dual land. Prismari Plasmage, already got this one. Serpentine Curve, already got this. First Day of Class, got it. Zoomancy, already got this one. Ingredient, already got it. Guiding Voice, already got it. Intro to Annihilation, already got it, but I like this card, so I'm glad to get more. Humiliate, okay, here's a new one. 2 mana sorcery, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, they discard it, and then you put a +1 on a creature you control. So it's a Duress plus, I mean, it's a Agonizing Remorse plus a +1 counter thing. Grinning Ignis, 3 mana, 2/2, 1. This is the one that was originally a Future Sight card from back in the day. You pay 3 mana, then you pay 1 red to make mana. So actually, after you summon it, eventually, then you pay 1 red to get back 2 mana. It's kind of interesting, and it's also a 2/2. Access Tunnel. This is one of the uncommon lands. It gives you colorless mana, or pay 3, target creature with power 3 or less cannot be blocked. So it's like the Rogue's Passage, but the newest generation of it. We have the Venerable Warsinger. Let me see, that's 1 uncommon, that's 2 uncommons, that's 3. Okay, I don't know. Math. Okay, so Venerable Warsinger, 3 mana, 3/3, Spirit Cleric, Vigilance and Trample. When this deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card with mana value of X or less from your graveyard, where X is the amount of damage. Okay, this deals damage. If it dealt the whole 3 damage, you can return 2 directly to the battlefield, you can return the 3 mana value creature back to the battlefield. If it got blocked and only 1 damage was done, you can bring back a 1 CMC to the battlefield. So that's interesting. And then the next cards are the Snake Skin Veil. Okay, I think the cat was knocking over some stuff. I'll check that in a moment. Snakeskin Veil, instant, +1 counter, and hexproof. And lastly, got a foil mythic Blex Vexing Pest. It's a 3 mana, it's a 3/2, it's a legendary pest. Other pests, bats, insects, and snakes get +1. And when this dies, you gain 4 life. Or play the backside, which is a search for Blex. 4 mana, look at the top 5 cards, put any of those into your hand, but you lose 3 life for each one. So you play either this side to get cards, to get creatures from your library, or you play this mythical creature. That's why it had this back, because it's got a flip card. Here you have this, so that you can, when you play with it, no one can see what you actually have. Interesting. Okay, well, let's do the recap of what I picked up, and then we'll wrap up. Not really going to do a recap of the commons, because they're common, and the uncommons, that's not too interesting. Let's look at the recap of the rares and the others. So we got a 3/3 that returns stuff. We've got a 3/1 that exiles stuff. We've got an amazing Elder Dragon here. We have a dual Dean, like this one. We have a exile a card instant. We have a human wizard that makes creatures. We have a human cleric that gives double strike. We have a 5/4 trampler, and then a 4/4 that makes more creatures. So those were the rares. On the Mystical Archive, I got a Duress, a Revitalize, a Crozen Grip, an infamous Faithless Looting, a Cultivate, an Adventurous Impulse, an Opt, and the big money. Oh, and then also another Duress. And the big money card is the Teferi's Protection. Really happy about that. Very cool, very powerful card. And as for the foils, I got a Rise of Extus, exile a creature, learn, Mage Duel, make your creatures fight, Containment Breach, destroy an artifact or enchantment, make a pest, and then the dual-sided Blex Mythic Foil. So yeah, I'm happy with what I got here. I got that. These are the 3 mythics that I got right here. Very happy with that. What do you all think? Out of these 3 right here, which is the one that's your favorite for the art, or the colors, or the ability, or the like? Which one do you like the best? And it's really cool. I got this flip card in foil mythic, amazing. The one on the left here, yeah, Teferi's Protection. That's a very good one. It does the phasing ability that is very powerful because you get completely protected. Your life total doesn't change. Everything phases out. Pretty amazing. If you want to really scare the opponent, you've got this amazing 2/5 double striking flyer. And then this one, if you're playing a creepy crawly deck of pests, bats, insects, snakes, or spiders, this makes them bigger and better. So those are the big ones. Got a lot of cool looking Mystical Archive ones. And yeah, I think I'm happy with all of the things that I opened up here. So I'm going to wrap up the stream in just a moment. And I will be back on Saturday. We will do our Saturday stream. We will actually play live, do some drafting and other gameplay and such, and see what other shenanigans and the snack chat and all that good stuff. So if you're going to be there on this Saturday, tell me there on the chat and say, I will be there. I will be there in the stream having fun with the whole VMC crew. And again, if you're interested in helping out the stream and the YouTube and so forth, there is a join button somewhere on the YouTube. You can join the VMC crew for 99 cents per month to unlock exclusive stuff such as emotes and longer videos and other cool stuff. So you can join the 99-cent tier, also known as the Mars Rover tier. And I've got these other tiers as well, the Jupiter Cruiser tier and the Neptune Colony tier. It tells you, if you click join, it tells you all the tiers, all the fun stuff. But anyway, thanks for hanging out as usual. I'll be back on the Saturday. We'll play some arena, do some fun stuff. Be back there at this point. Well, actually, tell me, how did the stream look? Because I was doing this with my cell phone rather than my usual streaming setup. Did it look okay? Did it sound okay? I don't really have any control of other cameras. It's just the phone. I don't like that. Like the exposure never locked itself. Like here looks fine, but then it looks bad there. So don't know if I'll do a lot of them with my phone. It's fine, right? But when I have it on my actual streaming rig, it's way better because I have all of the fun different cameras and also video reactions and such. Anyway, I am off to do other stuff, and I will stop pestering you vexingly. This has been VM Campos, and I'll see everyone next time.